Cool, got that. Oh, restream chat room. Oh, come on. Restream. Here. Come on. Where are you? Okay, open system preferences. I don't know why it asks me for that every time. It's really not even using it. Fine. Download the... why is it doing this right now? Oh, and then that's funny. So the restream chat crashes if you start downloading the update. Okay, in the meantime, while that's happening and you can't really talk to me, let's look at now Gatsby, because I want to build a so I'm going to be deploying my Gatsby site to now, so I want to make see if there's like a way to start it with now in Gatsby automatically. Okay, start a new Gatsby project using npx. What the hell is npx? Why does this have cd git npx? Do I have that? I do have that. Okay, that's still downloading. So we say np. Oh, let me zoom this in a little bit so people can see what I'm doing. So npx Gatsby new, and this is going to be called thread compiler because it's going on threadcompiler.com. Thread compiler. Let's call it threadcompiler.com. Like that. Okay, so this is now creating the project, installing everything I need, and then we're gonna see how it works. Okie doke, so that's still installing. While we're at it, we can create a new GitHub repository. So, style guidist. Interesting. Click that. Repository name threadcompiler.com. An app for scheduling tweet threads. A simple app for writing and scheduling. Tweet threads. Create repository. Cool. Okay, so now let's open this sucker. Random coding, thread compiler, and let's see what we got. So there should be a package JSON that has Gatsby starter default by Kyle Matthews, Gatsby 2, Gatsby image, plugin manifest, file system, React DOM. That's all good. And we are going to... Is there a now? Why is there no now? That's dumb. Okay, so why does this not give me a now config? Cool, so new, and we say version. Let's just save it as now.json. Cool, and we say version 2. So I'm just copying it from here. Name is threadcompiler.com, and our builds are going to be, so we have a source build based on package JSON. Oh, and I can install my chat room, which is going to use @now/ okay, yes, replace that @now/ static build, and my config needs to say what? This dir is public. Okay, that's good to know. Cool, so that's my basic thing, and for scripts we add now build npm run build. Cool. So that's our basic config, and now when I call now, it's going to do the things. Right. So did the chat room install? It did. So let's start that app, and that way we can see if anybody is out there talking to me. Applications, restaurant. I really need to take care of my nose hairs. That's why I'm sniffing so much. It's tickling my schnoz. Okay, cool. So we got the chat room, which back to chat. Okay, we'll see how that works. If anyone says hi, yes, great. All the connected channels, please. Let's add this here. Git add, git remote, add origin, blah. Git status. Oh, origin already exists. Why? Git remote -v. Okay, so git init is what we need to do first. Git commit -a-m initialized with npx now, npx new Gatsby. Bam. Oh, git add dot, git commit, and git remote add origin, blah. And now we can say git push origin -u master. That's gonna create the repository on GitHub so that it's fully initialized, and then we can start developing. Cool. Okay, so we have the Gatsby. Because we use the default starter. Hey Matteo, how's it going? And now we have to run Gatsby develop, and it's going to show up. Hello Julian. So Gatsby develop, and we should open up, and then we can start hacking around. It's been a while since I started a new thingy with Gatsby, but let's see. Is it 8080 or is it 8000? 8000. Okay. Cool. So we got 8000. Sweet. And this is my new Gatsby site. I can go to page 2, back to page 1. Wonderful. So this was very easy to set up. Now the next thing we're gonna do is going to be what is the next thing going to be? So Gatsby node, we don't need anything there yet. Gatsby config. Do we need any configs? I haven't actually tried Next yet. I think Next and Gatsby are slightly different things. I'd have to look into it a bit more, but I've had a lot of luck with Gatsby in general, and it powers an ever-increasing number of my sites, so I enjoy using it, and I've been using it a lot for that. But yes, I need to find an excuse to try Next, and then I can compare how they work side by side. Okay, so we have all of this set up. We're gonna update some site metadata. Hey Miha, threadcompiler.com, build, write a, is thread compiler a good name? Maybe we need a different name. Compile a kick-ass Twitter thread, build, write, compile a kick-ass Twitter, compile a kick-ass Twitter thread and schedule it out. Author is Swizzets at Swizzets. Cool. Let's see. Okay, so that immediately updated because it's using this data to go in there. That's good. Okay, so we're gonna not really focus on design today. We're gonna focus more on building the app itself. So pages, we have index.js, which is this one. Oh, what's an SEO component? They've kind of changed things around a little bit. So let's see. So that's the header. Yeah, I personally haven't been a big fan of Vue. It's always kind of caused problems for me. Or maybe I'm just having a hard time getting used to the style of Vue. I prefer the way React does things, so that's what I've been using. So the header is this stuff up here. Cool. Image.js, that must be this thing. Gatsby astronaut, yeah. Oh, interesting. So that's new. Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. Okay, so that's cool. That's also new. They didn't used to have this. Very nice. Layout CSS. That's our basic layout stuff. Layout.js is the main thing. So static query gets site title and description, or I guess it gets just the site title, uses it in the header, generates the div for everything, and then at the bottom adds this thing. So let's see. Built with love, heart. Built with love by Swizzats. Okay, swizzats.com. Why? Okay, React. Built with love by Swizzats. And we're gonna need a space here. Like that. Yeah, for the longest time you couldn't. I don't know if they fixed that bug. It looks like the bug might still be there because every default stuff is injecting GraphQL directly in the static query. But yes, that was a pretty annoying bug. Okay, now what does SEO.js do? SEO.js. Oh, look, you can. Cool, so the query here is in a separate function or a separate constant here, so it's GraphQL default SEO query, title, description, and author, and puts them in the helmet, title template, meta description. Oh, that's really cool. It already fills everything for you. Very nice. We're gonna need to add an image or something, but we can deal with that later. Keywords, okay. Prop types, cool. So that's what we got from Gatsby. We got the basic SEO setup, a basic layout that's purple, and now we're gonna start building stuff on top of this so that we can. Today I'm going to probably build just the basics, the basic UI, and then over the week we're gonna keep working on this until it's ready to launch. So let's see, we have to page 2. What does page 2 say? Go back to home page. So those are just links. We're going to look at our pages, index.js, and I'm going to delete page 2.js because we don't need that. So index.js says, hi people. So NartyDev, the live is actually also on Twitch. I'm simulcasting to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, and Twitch. So it's on 4 things. Wherever you prefer watching, you can go there. You can go there and watch. Write an amazing Twitter thread. Write your best Twitter thread with just some Markdown. Okay, React. Write your best Twitter thread. Okay. This is online. Cool. We're gonna remove that guy. Write your best Twitter thread. We're gonna go here. Let's say, here's how it works. Thumbs pointing down. I like to, part of writing out all of this copy is, first it gives me focus so I can know what I'm building, and anyone who's watching can immediately see what I'm building without having to ask me too many questions. And that's why I like to put down some copy first, because it's like it works as a guideline for me to know what I'm building, so I don't start building too many things that I didn't intend to. So here's how it works. Let's see, Yule or OL, LI, and we say, what do we say? Write Markdown, separate tweets by with tip. Thread compiler parses your markup. Click post. I guess we'll see how far we get. So write Markdown, thread compiler, preview your thread, click post. Cool. So now we're going to yes, that is a good point, Matteo. I will try to keep that in mind. Okay, so got that. Actually, let's keep the astronaut. I like the astronaut for now. Now we're going to actually, where should we put the astronaut? Let's make a 2-column layout real quick. How do we do that with CSS grid again? Or should we do it with Flex? Okay, let's add styled components. Yarn add styled components, because that is the best way to... Yeah, so one thing, Ridari, is that while people can see the bottom right of the screen, I don't think many people are reading that. So it is actually better if I read out the questions. It's just generally a good idea. So what was I gonna say? Let's have a... Should I have a general... Let's have a... In layout.js, I'm going to export other things. Should I do that? I think it makes sense, right? No. So I'm having a little trouble deciding how to organize my code right now. I guess ideally this would just render a content. So let's make it a component. We're going to go here and import hey Ismail, where are you from? That's a very long nickname to have. Yes, pretzel hands. Obviously, we should put everything in one single index.js file. So I'm going to import. What's this going to be called? Should we call it thread compiler? Preview form input. Let's call it thread compiler for now. No, because import thread form from / components. Why is my computer so slow? Thread form like that, and we make a new file. Come on. New file, import React from React. Okay, seriously, what is going on right now? Docker, why are you using 1.4 gigs of memory? I'm not even running Docker. Or, I mean, I guess I'm running Docker, but why am I running Docker? Docker, you go away now. Quit Docker desktop. Okay, what else? OBS is using all the CPU. Dropbox, why is Dropbox using 84% of my CPU? Quit that. I'm gonna keep Twizy. I can quit Safari. Oh, Safari is actually even hung. This is okay. So import React from React and import styled from styled components. We save that shit. Pages components, we called it thread form.js. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how the Twitter live stream works, but it's there, so I offer it. So we have thread form, which is going to export default thread form equals, it's just a component that is going to render shit. So it's going to render what? We're going to have two column thing, and on the left, so left column is going to say this is left, and right column is going to say this is right, and that's going to help us just verify that I still know how to write CSS. And we say const to column equals style.div, that is display grid. Okay, CSS grid to column, because if we have grids, why wouldn't we use CSS grid? And if we can look it up on the internet, why would we ever try to build our own from scratch? So let's see. Okay, defining a grid. Display grid. Okay. Display grid template columns 50%, 50%, grid gap 10 pixels, sure. We don't need a background color. And then, oh, neat. So we don't actually even need this. Let's see. If we just say div and div, will that automatically work? Thread form is not defined. Const thread form. Export default thread form. Cool. Why it now show up? So let's see. What do we have rendered here? Validate. Okay. So all this needs to be separated. Oh, and we need to actually render the thread form, otherwise it's not going to work. So we say thread form. Okay, this is left, this is right. Perfect. Cool. So we got that. Now we say div, we're gonna do h1 write mark down here. H1. Oh, come on. Your tweet thread. Twitter thread. Your Twitter thread. Write markdown here. Write pen. There we go. Right here. And let's change these guys to H2s because I think that's gonna look better. Yes, magical CSS indeed. Cool. Okay, so we have that. What is appropriate? Let's see. Ah, yes. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, did I close it? Oh, here it is. Okay, so write markdown here, your Twitter thread. Perfect. Now, what do I need next? Okay, now I need a text area and all of that other stuff. So we're going to install remark UTF-8 first. Yarn add remark UTF-8, and then we're gonna add a text area. So text area value equals. Oh, I'm going to. Should we use hooks for this? Oh, but we are on stable. Okay, so because I don't want to update, I don't want to update React because it might do weird things with Gatsby, so I'm going to keep doing this old school. So we're gonna say class thread form. Class thread form extends React dot component. Or should I use constate? Let's use constate because why not? Okay, so let's see, how do I use constate? Constate. Nope. Diego has constate. Oh, and we can also use React Kit, which is a really good UI kit. Oh wow, so they completely changed. Okay, so constate no longer works without hooks. Okay, so I guess we're upgrading to hooks. Might as well. Let's see which one has. So we go into package JSON, and I'm going to kill this. React DOM needs to say next, and React needs to also say next. And we say yarn install. So now I'm upgrading React so that we can use hooks, even though they're not fully live yet, but it's going to be more interesting doing it with hooks because that's the new way of doing stuff. Cool. And we say yarn add constate because I like constate. Okay, now thread form is going to look like this. So we return that. Okay, and then we Do we need a container? Yeah, of course we need a. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do this in. We're gonna move it. So it's going to be 2 column here. 2 column and thread form. And we're going to change this. So instead of thread form, we're going to have a thread input. Thread input. And we rename this file. Where is does it have rename? Okay, let's just move it. Move source components thread form to source components thread input.js. Don't save. Thread input. React JavaScript. Okay. So thread input is going to be just a text area. Thread input. Okay. So got that. Write markdown here, and here we're going to render thread input like that. Cool. Now let's thread input for now is going to return hi there or hello world so that we can see it's working. And we say Gatsby develop. And let's see if Gatsby works with React Next. Cool. Warnings, wonderful. Okay. Let's see, what did I do wrong? Link is defined. Style is not defined. We can remove that, and we have to say import styled from styled components. Wonderful. Okay, so that's working. Now thread input, let's see what it's going to need. So I'm following instructions because it's a good idea to follow instructions. Const what should we call it? Thread input. Let's just call it input, and set input equals use state of blank, and we import use state and use context from React, and we're going to import create container from, actually no, we're not. So we have use state and that stuff. And that creates a custom hook and all of interesting stuff. Okay, let's just do this first. So text area. Do I have a monster today? You mean so Ridari asks if I have a monster, and I think he means like an energy drink. I've been on tea so far, but we're gonna switch to energy drinks soon, because I did a 15k race this morning, and my legs are starting to get a little tired from sitting down. So text area value is input, and on change is event use set input or set input with event value target, and let's see if that works. More caffeine, more code. Yep, that is exactly true. No, so our thing is not working. Cannot read property target of undefined. How do on change events work again? Event target dot. Oh yeah, wow. How did that happen? Thank you, pretzel hands. One of these days I will find out if your hands are actually made from pretzels. Wonderful. See how beautiful that is? Okay, so we got that, and now let's style our text area. So const text area equals style.text area. Actually, you know what? Let's look at React, because I know that React has a bunch of really good things that we can use, and I am very much not a designer. So, you know, React will save my ass. Because who wants to design things, right? Let's see, components, box, block. What doesn't block do? Flex, grid. Okay. Cool. Let's add React. So yarn add React. And this is going to make it, you know, life is going to be easier. So let's see. I'm sure there's gotta be a text area somewhere in here. Let's see. Come on. So I'm going to, instead of hacking this together, because I'm not good at that anyway, let's see. So we say import grid from React, and then here you can say grid columns equals, okay, let's see, repeat 2 1 fr. I don't know actually what that means, but I'm happy to find out. Then we say grid.item, grid.item, and here grid.item. Cool, and this one is just end grid. Yeah, let's see what happens. Hot update was not successful, I know. Element type is invalid. Expected a string for built-in components or a class function for... That's annoying. Okay, let's try that again. Why is that not working? I'm trying to avoid being a designer because I'm not good at it. But it looks like React and Gatsby potentially don't like each other, or it was a problem with okay, let's see, what is this expecting? What happens if we take this out and just render a grid? No, box component is not happy. I'm not sure what's wrong. So we're gonna go back to my own solution for now and deal with this later. And let's get back to figuring out the thread input part. That's annoying. Okay, so let's see, text area, new, input. Maybe there's a nice style for the input bar. Input time text, okay. Type checkbox as text area. Okay, let's see. Cool, so thread input, we say import input from React, and here we say input as text area. Okay, so we can use palettes and shit. Very nice. Okay, so that's showing up. Let's see. opaque through palette. What are palettes? Okay, so palette, styling. Inline styles, palette violet red. I like that. Pale violet red. Theming. Okay, let's see. Palette, what are my options? How can I find out what my options are? Styling for the palette. Okay. Let's see, GitHub. Maybe we can look at the source code and that's gonna give us some ideas. You can create a theme object with a palette and customize any React component. Palette. Okay, I have no idea how to do this, but let's say background color is pale violet red and color is white, because why not? Okay, cool. So how do we do styling? Styled blah. Okay, so we import styled as well, and we say text area equals styled of input with more extra stuff, and we say, should we remove background color stuff? So context area width is 100%. What? Oh. Okay, so width 100%. No? Oh, because I have to actually use it. So text area with 100%. Okay. And we say min height is 400 pixels, let's say. Cool. Let's give it, I feel like we should get a nice grayscale background for this. A nice gray so that it's nicer to write on. Okay, so let's say background. Background is light gray. Can we do lighten? 0.5. No. Lighten is apparently not a brighten. Nope. How can we do this? Where can I find good colors? I'm really bad at picking colors. So let's look at how does IA Writer do it. Blah 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 blah. Wow, that was very slow. Okay, so we're gonna take a screenshot of that and save it, and then open it in, what should we open it in? I think if I open it in Photoshop, that's gonna suck, isn't it? Online color picker. I'm sure there's a web app for this. Hex color picker. Come on. Upload my image. Wow, this is so very slow. It's funny, it actually... Oh, what? No. It looks like I'm being so boring that everybody stopped watching. That's fun. But I'm sorry, it's just... the beginning parts take time and are slow. Okay, so now how do I do that? Okay. So background is F7, 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 and color is how do I click on exactly what I want? Color 1F, 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 and we're going to say font is Courier. Font family monospace. CSS font family monospace. Okay, let's try font family monospace. Font family monospace. Cool. Okay, so that's, we need to say font size is 1.2 EMs so that it's a bit more pleasant to write, maybe 1.4 EMs. And let's add a padding of 0.2 EMs. Let's do 0.5. Cool. Okay, so we got the input bar. Git status, git add source, git commit -a-m, basic layout with input text area. Great. Now the next step. The next step is having this value and communicating it to the display component. So we're gonna go into constate and see how to create a container. Okay, so we go here and we import create container from constate, and so we create the container. We are going to need a custom hook. Okay, so we create, where do we put the data stuff? So touch source, not components, not images, not pages. Should we just call it data stuff? State.js. Okay, state.js, and we say function use input. That isn't a very... use thread input. So use thread input, which is import use state from React, and we say this is a React thingy. So you export function use thread input, which takes this stuff and says const So return input, should we call it value? Thread input, use thread value. Let's call it input and set input. I'm just gonna keep it the same. Then we're gonna create container here as well. So export const thread container equals create container with use thread input. Cool. Actually, let's in fact update it. Const set update equals event set input with that auto-corrected. That's pretty cool. Set input with event.target.value, and we say update input and update thread counter thread container create container from use thread input, and we say export thread container. Does that work? Okay, we'll see if that works. So we're exporting that as well. Now we can go in index.js and we import what did we call it? Thread container from /state, and here we render thread container.provider like that. Then in thread input we say const input and update equals use context okay, so import thread container from ./state, and we use context called thread container.context. Okay, and that should work. On change we just call update, and let's see. So right now it should just be showing us object is not a function. What? Create container from constate. So why is this not working? Okay, that compiled. Why is object not a function when we say create container? What happens if I write console log create container? What did we actually get? So clear that. Undefined. So why is constate not exporting anything? Let's see. So ls node modules constate, and package JSON. What version of constate do we have? Our version of constate is 090, and this code base is for 100 alpha. Okay, so we have to put constate on next as well, right? Let's see, constate next. Let's see if that works. Yarn. Will that update our constate version? Okay. Package JSON is now version 100 alpha. Awesome. So if we now say Gatsby develop, it now should work, I think. Let's see if anyone is actually out there. Because if nobody's out there, why am I doing so much talking, you know? No, I kid. You never know when people might watch this later. Come on, computer. You can do it. Site can't be reached. Oh, because it's still compiling. Still waiting until bundle is finished. There we go. Bundle is done. And now this runs and it outputted create container. Perfect. So now when I type, it's still working. That's awesome. Oh, whoa, there's a lot of people watching. Why is this thing not showing you guys? So that's kind of weird. The restream chat apparently doesn't know how to count. Great, so we have the markdown here. Let's see, git status, git add dot, git commit -a -m, basic state wiring. And now we can go into thread input index and we're going to say thread render. And we import thread render, import thread, oh come on, thread render from / components thread render blah. Wonderful, got that. And now we start a new file, import react from react, and import thread container from /state, and thread render equals a method that returns not much, export default thread render. It's in components and it's called thread render.js. Cool, that's saved. React, yes, I know it's not returning anything, and it's going to say hello world. Cool, that's showing up. And now we can say const input equals use context of thread container.context, like that. Import use context from React, and here now let's see if we render the input, what do we get? Cool, so now we can type on the left and get output on the right. Type taka, and I'm gonna go take a short break. I just need to go to the restroom and maybe find a snack. Give me a second. Alright, I am back. So, it's not a monster Ridari, it's a yerba mate, but these things are powerful too. What happened to my music? Music, come on. Okay. Oh, and I should take care of getting some dones in. It's very important that people know that you're getting shit done. Done on basic setup for UI. Thread compiler. Okay, see, I'm super productive. Doesn't count if it's not public somewhere. So now we have this input where we can type on the left and we get output on the right. Now let's start messing with remark. So we installed remark. We can say import remark from remark. I think I do have to yarn add. Come on. What? Yarn add remark, because I do have to install remark, not just my plugin. Joke. Ah, yes, more chocolate. Import remark from remark. Import UTF-8 from remark UTF-8, and we return remark use UTF-8. We're gonna have to use an effect. So return rendered, and we're going to have const rendered and set rendered, which is going to be use state. It starts with empty. Yeah, this is good for now. So that's some state. Then we have use effect, which is going to depend on the input, and once used, we'll call remark, tell it to use the UTF-8 plugin, and then process our input value and get back output and error. And when that happens, if error, it's going to console log the error and not do stuff. So return just console.error error. Else we set rendered to output dot contents, I think is what it is. Cool. Now let's see if that works. React is defined, use state is not defined. Use state. Oh. Okay, let's see. So something is clearly not working with my defaults. What happens if we render this in a div? And let's console log it as well. Console log. Okay. So it is consistently annoyed with us. What is the error? I know I got this working in a thing. So there's a code sandbox where this works. But let's see. Gatsbyjs.com blog. This is a benefit of blogging your things, and when you learn something, always write a blog about it, because it lets you go back and look things up. Okay. Open this thing in an editor. Use UTF-8. No. Okay. Okay. No. Let's go to GitHub, remark UTF-8. I know I wrote some instructions there. Great. Still doesn't have any stars, which is okay. It's fine by me. So use process markdown string error. That's what we did. How do our tests do it? Because I know that I have tests here that actually work. So let's check the tests. Process blah. Okay, let's see. Console log affecting with the error or with the input. Let's see what the input actually is. Here we can say console console.log error and console.log worked. So I'm adding a bunch of console logs to try to see what's going on and why this shit isn't working. So affecting, that's correct, but why is it getting an error is what I'm wondering. What happens if we don't tell it to use UTF-8? Okay, let's make sure this part works first. Set rendered is just input. Set rendered is not a function. Yes, it is. Oh, because this needs to be arrays. Okay. So, pop. Okay, that's working now. We have direct transcription from one side to the other. But why is remark not processing this stuff? Or rather, why is remark erroring out? So if we say remark.process of our input, and that gets an output and an error. Let's see, console log of error. What does the error actually say? Does it have any clues as to what's wrong? V file data, what? Contents, blah, blah, history, messages. I don't understand why this is erroring out. G remark. Let's see. No, remark.js remark. So why is this having trouble? Unified use markdown. Oh, let's see. I want a simpler example. Okay. Let's try it that way then. So no, that looks so complicated. Is there a simpler example on remarkjs.org? Well, this used to be a lot better styled. Okay. So CLI API require remark use. Okay, let's try adding remark HTML. Yarn add remark HTML. It might be useful, it might help. I feel a little blurry. Okay. So remark import HTML from remark HTML, and we say remark is a function that uses HTML, then processes some input and get, oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. Error and output. So that was the only thing I was doing wrong, wasn't it? Dot contents. Let's see. Oh, I have to run Gatsby again. Cool. Let's see now. It's running. Okay. So, aha. Cool. So now if I go hi, that renders into HTML. Perfect. Okay. So what I was doing wrong was that I was inverting error and output in the thing. So UTF-8, we use that one, and blup, and we say if error, we console.error are error. Otherwise, we say set rendered to output.contents, like that. Let's see. So hello there world. This is italic and this is bold. Perfect. Okay, so that's working, right? That's working now. Yes, it is. But one thing we can do is we should remove the backslashes while they're there. Should we? Actually, let's leave it like this for now. So we have this stuff: git status, git add source, git commit -a-m, basic render preview. Cool. Now the next step is breaking this up into tweets. So let's see what happens when we break it up. What was I doing? So thread render is going to take our input and break it into tweets. So we're gonna say blah, and can say input dot split based on minus, and for each one we're going to map that tweet, and we're going to render a tweet with, let's do it like that. Yeah, will that work? Let's see. Okay, so now we need tweets. So we're going to say const tweet equals blah, and takes children, which is the value. Which seems kind of weird, doesn't it? Should it take children? No, let's make it take value. Value equals tweet, like that, and takes the value, and we're going to take all of this, move it into the tweet. Okay, and we could actually we might be able to make that into our own hook, but I guess it's not really necessary. So we're going to return rendered. Okay, so now we're gonna be able to see that these are multiple tweets. So div, and here it's going to say hello world. Hello world. This is a Twitter thread. Look, it makes new tweets. Now let's see if this actually worked. So we have two separate tweets, which is perfect. See, it's splitting it up. So now what we can do is that we can, let's see, so we have that, we take the value, all of that works. Now we need to style it better, don't we? Yeah, and we're gonna take out remark HTML. Now how do we do the styling? New lines work? No, new lines don't work. We need to fix new lines as well. Hey. Alright, we're gonna do that later. So how do we, what was I doing? Oh, the styling of tweets. Let's see if React has something useful for us. When was the latest code? Blah. Containers, avatar, backdrop. Ooh. Okay. Block quote, button, card. Should they be cards? Cards look good. Dividers. No. Groups. Fields. Okay. Images. Headings. That's cool. Navigation. Paragraph. Not sure why. Provider, table, toolbar, tooltip. So basically we need an interface that's similar looking to this is what I want. But let's see. Block. Oh, block is good. Okay, let's see that then. So import what is tone? Okay, so or should it be a grid? Actually, let's try something first. So we have the render div. Under it, actually, yeah, let's call this a block, and we say import block from React, and let's see if that actually works. Because if it doesn't, then we're in a bit of trouble. It doesn't work because why? What is wrong with the box components? What if we change React to next? Will that make it work? Or I guess we don't need React. Okay, so we're gonna style this ourselves. So import styled from styled components. Got that, and we're going to say tweet style. And what does tweet style do? So const tweet style equals style.div, and that div will have all the same styling as a tweet, because that's what makes sense. Let's see. Should we type it in there and have that sort of visualization of whether of how much room you have left? That would be cool. But let's actually do it this way. Oh. Okie doke. So let's see then. Tweet text size. Perfect. So we're gonna copy this stuff. So bam, font size 27 pixels, white space pre-wrap. I don't really know what all of these things are, but you know, we're gonna use them because we can. So we have that. What gives us the font? Or guess let's try it. Okay, burp. Oh, we should also define the width. Max width 560 pixels. Okay, so this is a test. Wow, that font is way too big. How does that font look so much smaller here than it does there? Let's see, what is the actual font family? Okay, got that. WebKit font smoothing, let's add that as well while we're here. Color, and yeah, let's get the color right. So I'm basically just stealing styles right now. That's what's going on, and let's see if that makes it a little better. Yeah, I don't understand why that font looks so big. But we have the things parsing, rendering. So the next step is going to be a what? So ideally we would show avatars and stuff like that as well, but we need to log in before we can do that. So I'm going to add a little counter here that counts your characters, right? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna see that. So value rendered character count. Where do we put that? Okay, so character count, character count, car count, yeah, character count, value is rendered like that. Now we go here and we say const car count equals with the value, and this guy is going to return, for starters, just a div that says value.length 61, and this one needs to should we make it a circle? We can do a circle, but no, let's do this first. So div with a, let's see, car count style, and we're gonna break this up into more files at some later point. So const car count style equals style.div, where font size is 17 pixels. Wonderful. Cool. And this thing is going to say text align right. Yep. So now when I start a new one, see, we have a counter there as well. Wonderful. So the amount of new, how many tweets do we get? What's the character limit? Twitter character limit, I think it's 280. 280. Cool. So we're going to say 280 minus value.length. So now we can keep typing, and you see we have, this is now being split into tweets. Okay, and if we say blah, here, this is a lot of code. It should turn into a thing eventually. Let's add that as well. So we got the counter. Now, how do we make it so that tweets should have margin bottom that is 2 EMs? Cool. Let's do 1.5 EMs. 1.5 EMs. Wonderful. So we got that. Now the next step. What is the next step? Yeah. Okay. So we have that. We're rendering them. Each tweet is rendered on its own. We can add counters, but let's also, so git status, git commit -a -m, call this update blah. Show characters left count on each tweet. Cool, got that. Now the next part I'm going to do is add the screenshot one, and then I'm going to stop live coding for a while, and we're gonna continue this on some other day. So yarn add remark code screenshot. Arr. Okay, got that. Wonderful. Now we're going to say import code screenshot camera live. Why you quit on me? Yes. Camera live. I'm very bright, aren't I? Okay, so now my camera is having problems. Yes, it's not responding. Okay, let me try turning off the camera. Aha. Turn it back on. We don't want that. Camera error. Okay. Let's try that again. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to... Perfect. So it says active, and you should now see me here. You do. Awesome. Where was I? We got the character counter, we got that. And we are adding code screenshot from remark code screenshot. And I am going to see how that works. So .use code screenshot, and it should just magically start working, to be honest. At least that's the idea. Okay, so hello there world. I can go bold, sometimes italic. And if I write a bunch of code, it becomes a URL. Okay, so that part needs work. And it keeps changing, which is not great. Okay, so that part needs work, but we're making good progress. Let's see. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna try to do what? Okay, I'm gonna record a little video so that we can show everyone what we've built, and then I'm going to stop live coding for a while and get to work on some other stuff. So now this one, record video. Okay, record video. Hello world. This is a proof of idea sort of thing. You can write bold. You can go italic, and you can split tweets, but also write code. Const this equals self, and that should become a screenshot. This part needs work. Okay, this part needs work. We take this, copy paste it, just to show that it does actually work. here, open the screenshot. Okay, cool. So that's gonna be it from me for the building a web app with Gatsby. We're gonna continue tomorrow night, and if you want to join me later in like an hour or two, I'm going to probably live stream moving from drip to ConvertKit, because I don't know why. It seems like a good idea to stream that. So thanks everyone for watching. I will see you tomorrow evening.